Welcome to Bondo Betty Gets a Welder. You may have seen this welder in the background. When I traded for the tires, I got this welder and it was broken, and I knew it was broken, but I was not able to fix it. I'm sure somebody can fix it, but I wasn't able to fix it, and so we ended up buying this Forney Easy Weld 140 flux core welder, and we are going to try to fix all of Bondo Betty's rust spots with this flux core welder. So we'll get Bondo Betty on some jack stands. We're going to do a couple practice welds with this thing, and yeah, let's see if we can get the underside of this car fixed. All right, our couple of first practice welds are using some of these old license plates. Not the prettiest welds, but just getting this thing set up using the old cart. And so far, I am pretty stoked. So let's see how this goes. Let's get the Bondo Betty up on jack stands. I've taken the passenger seat out, set it over here, but what's super cool is I start to tear this thing apart so we can replace this floorboard is more bullet shells. And actually that one looks like a complete bullet. Gotta love Bruce. I can only imagine him zipping through the desert with this thing. All right, I've got the interior out of the car. Maybe need some vacuuming. That back piece needs replaced also. I'm not too worried about that, but floorboards definitely. I look at this deal here, and let me show you underneath. So this is what the underside looks like. So I'm not actually going to take that off and replace it because it's pretty solid, and that's what that's welded to. So we're going to leave that and just keep working as we can. We are cutting out sheet metal, making progress. So cut out that. I removed this back side. I know I said I wasn't going to do it. Maybe not on that side over there. Might not need it. This side, it definitely did. And so I have dropped down the rock rail, and we will probably cut it apart and try to figure out how to either save it or do another one, something similar. We'll figure that out a little bit later. Well, here's what I'm doing. I'm using the side of the welder, the one underneath that cardboard box, as some material. I used a piece of bed frame rail as a brake, and basically used a hammer and a pair of vice grips and have bent this up to create a lip. You can see what I'm trying to do here. Looks like I'm going to need to cut this corner off a little bit to get that to fit in there a little better. But yeah, just trying to make this piece of metal fit in a gigantic hole that's out. Okay, first patch panel is in. My welds got a bit better. They're not quite perfect, but they're not the worst either. So we're making progress. It's at least a sturdy floorboard to stand on. I gotta hit that a bit and hammer that in, but we're making progress. Good morning. It is the second day that I've worked on this. Not the second day in a row, but just the second day I'm working on this welding project. And even though I still have that patch panel left to fix, I have a solid plan for that. I thought I would start today by cutting out the junk sheet metal in here. I don't know if this heater tube is going to go or not. I am definitely going to cut most of that out. On that side over there, I'm going to leave it for now. But on this side, we're just going to get it. It's not doing anything, so we're just going to cut it off and get it out of the way. That's what we're going to start with. All right, got this cut out. Left that heater tube in there, but now we're going to see what we can fit in here. All right, we are making progress. We got a lot of this pieced together. Nothing's welded underneath, but we will get to that point. Got a few more pieces put in here. Probably going to put another tack weld in there once we patch in that piece, but pretty happy with how things are coming along. All right, it's another day. Kind of lost track of how many days, but I'm going to try to work on the underside here. As you can see, we have some gaps from my lack of real knowledge, I guess, on how to do this. But we're going to hit some of this with the hammer. We're going to try to get all this tacked together. Going to grind this a little, probably going to weld up in here and then grind this down. And then looking at the back side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grind up in here, or weld and grind some combination thereof, and try to just get all of this to fit somewhat somehow and see how it goes. Okay, so we're definitely making progress. We got a lot of this seams welded underneath. Not necessarily perfect, but functional for certain. Having fun, learning. Okay, we are pretty much done with this side here. I've welded underneath. I added some angle iron, scrap bed frame right there to kind of shore up that side over there. This side is patched together, to put it mildly, but it's all welded. It's really solid. It supports my weight. Still have the driver's side to take care of. Got smoke in the car. Not exactly sure if it's something in the tunnel is on fire. Kind of looks like it might be. Yeah, we're making progress. Still got back here to take care of. We'll just keep working away, one piece at a time. Okay, work continues. As you can see, I have cut out a bunch of sheet metal and I've added a bunch in. This yellow plate is the plate that was bolted in here. You can see that I've tried to edge weld that from underneath, and it's burnt through just a little bit. And so I tried to add a patch piece over the top of the sheet metal to basically make it thicker, so that when I weld the gap underneath, which I'll show you in a second, it has something to burn to. You can see that this gap, when I try to fill that, it burns through the sheet metal on the floor, but where I put in that upper piece, it has allowed me to weld the two pieces of metal together, although that is a pretty wide boogery weld. On this one, I have edge welded there and there. That's going to be an issue right there, so it's pretty thin, but I'll get it weld in right there. And then we'll get some welds in here, probably from the top, but still quite a bit to do. Okay, I have welded and welded. I don't know if this is good, bad. I definitely worry about where I burned through there. Feel like maybe I need to pull it back all the way to here. That's kind of suspect. That's so-so. Back here, it's tied in. The underside is welded, kind of, more or less. I feel like I should be doing more, but I don't know exactly what else to do. Okay, about 3 days have passed, and I haven't really worked on the welding aspects. I did a few other things, but a lot of times you just got to set things aside and think about how you want to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish, and in this case was tying everything together. So I did two things. I got a torch and a slightly bigger hammer, and then I added that patch, little patch there. I did add a bolt to weld things on. I added the back side here to tie that in. And then on the underside, you can see I used a torch to beat places where the sheet metal was gapped and make it all fit well. I still have that side to do over there and over here, but now that I have the torch, fixing that gap won't be as hard. I've also welded that seam and this seam together, so definitely making a ton of progress. And I think we're going to call it quits for this video. There will be a part 2. But yeah, ta-ta for now. Thank you for paying attention. I am learning and having fun.